Welcome to the Nuff Said podcast. We're talking Season 3, Episode 18 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, The Singularity. I thought Singularity was going to show up in this episode. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I was expecting. I am Rob Southgate. With me is...
Jack Wengrosky.
And Alil and Kunica.
Oh, you got into the spirit of the game show host thing there, huh?
Sure. And this is Alil and Kunica. And tonight, Nuff Said game show.
Oh, we should do that. Let's do that when Jack's out of town. Jack, I want to talk to you about when you're out of town.
Let's talk about it now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it now. Why not?
Why don't you just talk about me when I'm gone? That'll be easy.
No, I think we got to come up with something fun to do because you're going to be gone. You're going to be on a boat. And
actually, it's a ship.
Okay. It's a dinghy. And you think you're going to be Gilligan. And Alil's the skipper.
Awesome.
And Phil is Professor Anne Marianne.
Ooh, and Marianne. So he's like half-faced?
Yes.
You know, like the old where he's got like half his face.
Oh, that was a Beavis and Butthead joke. I like that Professor Anne Marianne.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I watched Beavis and Butthead.
Come on.
You know, that could be the female influence we're really needing on this show. A half a Marianne.
Right. Phil?
Phil is.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
He's half the professor, half Marianne. So, you know, we get the female thing and we get the intelligent conversation, which we are sorely lacking.
I don't want to see his female thing, so let's keep it going.
Welcome to the Patreon only show. Ah, darn it. So, okay. But Jack, here's what I'm thinking. You're going to be gone. It's going to be difficult to do this. I know you're thinking, oh, yeah, we'll do it. But you know what? There's only a few more episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. left. So we'll just finish out S.H.I.E.L.D. But then do you want to do something like maybe like do like a weekly check-in? We can do something like for Blab or something. I mean, I don't know. I think we should come up with something different because we're going into the summer season. Who cares, you know?
I think we should invent our own thing just because Blab I don't know, something about Blab. I don't like the title. So I think we should invent our own thing and call it Flab.
Too late.
Oh,
nope.
It fits with the three of us. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
I know, right? That could be like our own, like, you know, video lab.
Pound for pound, we're the biggest show about Marvel. Although I kind of doubt that.
That could be our byline anyway, actually. Either way.
The biggest Marvel show in the universe. It might be cool.
Like I could be, you know, like the Daily Show. I could be the
correspondent.
The correspondent. I mean, how cool would it be to do a Marvel podcast from Turkey?
I think it's awesome, but I think we got to figure out what's going to work for you. So here's the official announcement. Jack is going to be gone for a few months. We're going to try and figure it out.
Wait, Jack, you're going to be in Turkey? Have you seen the Captain America Spider-Man Turkish movie where Captain America is fighting an evil Spider-Man?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I saw clips of it on YouTube. It was awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. Yes, find that. Find the actors and get them on the show.
Of course I've seen it. Right, Rob?
Yeah, right. Of course he hasn't seen Avengers yet, but he's seen that.
Actually, I've seen Avengers, but I didn't see Fantastic Four. No, well, I've seen the others.
Lucky you.
Believe it or not. It's
Jack,
just like these weird things that you guys come up with. Yeah, did you see the time that Superman grabbed up Spider-Man and dropped him on a Wonder Woman?
I want to know.
I don't even know what happened.
I want to know who you're doing an impression of right now.
That's my generic, like, Durr voice. I don't know. I mean, who do you want it to be? I could make it.
I didn't know which one of us it was.
Why does it have to be one of us? Why do we have to attack one another? Why can't it be somebody else?
Yeah, because maybe you haven't heard this show before. Welcome to the Nuff Said podcast. That's what we do.
It's what we do. I don't know.
There it is.
Why all of a sudden I feel like Gilbert Gottfried?
I don't. I'm just okay. Let me clear my voice. I'm just all worked up. So, okay, are we going to talk about this show?
Why?
Are we doing a show, or is this like
all
some
set up?
Now, wait a minute. How many episodes are there this season? Is it 22?
I think there's 3 left.
Wow. No, there can't be. That would only be 21. They don't do 21. They do 22. Hey, did you guys see that thing today that it sounds like Agent Carter is not coming back?
No.
I
they
figured
promised us she was coming back.
Well, you know, I don't think she is, but I actually think that this will give them freedom. They've got all these other shows coming up. They've got Cloak and Dagger. They've got Marvel's Most Wanted. You know, I understand how you could absolutely use it in here, and I wish that they'd bring it back, but they could also take this and run with it a different way. They could do made for Netflix movie. See, here's what's going on. I think they're going to build up enough material that they can have a Marvel channel at some point. And at that point, why not do an Agent Carter, you know, one-shot movie every year, you know? And they wouldn't cost them very much to produce. Instead of doing 10 episodes, you're doing 2 hours of Agent Carter. Might be a little bit more feasible.
Yeah, but those things are always have a budget. And how do you justify something like that? That still you'd be spending a significant amount of money to put out Agent Carter.
Well, yeah, but if it's all in-house, you know what? Let's talk about the show. I can't figure any of this out right now.
So I'm going to
start other topics and then not want to finish them. Go ahead, Jack.
This is the Bipolar podcast. I'm your host, Jack Wengrosky, and with me is Rob and Rob Southgate.
Yes.
Well, okay. So the episode starts out with, I don't know, like some weird, pretentious things from, one of the things was that interchange between May and Coulson. Was that like way out from left field? Because, you know, she felt like...
Which one was in the car, you mean?
Yeah, the one in the car. There was also something at the There's also something in the beginning with Lincoln, but let's get this one first, because... But in the car...
That what happened with Lincoln actually happened first. So we should talk about that, because basically at that point, and I think that's what led into her outburst, was Coulson, like the whole... There was chaos at the place, you know. Daisy, you know, earthquaked everybody and broke Coulson's leg, and which I don't know how they did that when he did so good dressing up as Britney Spears and lip syncing the other week.
Did that make your tummy feel weird when you saw that?
Oh, it felt weird. I already pre-ordered that hot toy with that special outfit. No, but like the fact that
I'm surprised that wasn't your first hot toy, to tell you the truth.
Well, if it was a good deal, it probably would have been. But no. So he wanted basically Lincoln to wear like a suicide vest. You know, like, you know, if you get taken over, you're going to die. And I think after a while, all this stuff kind of caught up to May, because basically May does his dirty laundry. You know, he killed Ward, but every other thing is he sends May in to do the dirty work. And I think everything that happened with her and her husband and everything, it just piled on. And then
she totally called it out.
Yeah, she was the one training Lincoln and everything. And it's like, you're ready to take him out, but you're telling everybody don't touch Daisy when Daisy's the one infected as well. And Daisy could probably do more damage than Lincoln could, period.
Yeah, but in calling that out, she really tried to say that Coulson really ordered Lash's death. And I don't know. I think she had a big part in that. And I think she does the dirty work because she wants to, not because Coulson's ordering her to. You know, she's not out there getting her hands dirty because Coulson won't. It's because that's her job.
Well,
and
it is. But the thing is he is picking and choosing when she should get her hands dirty. And I think that's what's getting to her. Like it's okay for us to take out Lash and us to take out Lincoln, but nobody can touch your precious Daisy. Nobody can touch your precious Sky.
Right. And that's what she was saying to him. And it's true. He is treating her.
And he even said it. I mean, he said it, that she's the closest thing he's ever had to a daughter.
Yeah. But you know, and at the same time, he is right. This is not her. So we have to treat this a certain way. When you say it wasn't Blair Underwood, yeah, but Blair Underwood was turning into this other thing. And at some point, it's not Blair Underwood anymore. It's Lash.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, I think the struggle was between May and Blair. And she made a lot of those decisions. Coulson wasn't driving a lot of that. I don't think, maybe, there was a final order. I really meant to try and get back to that to see if Coulson was the one that ultimately pulled the plug. But, they brought him in. They didn't order his death right away. They tried to cure him. They tried to contain him. But May's the one that brought him in. May's the one that really struggled with that. But May threw like her whole career back into Coulson's face. And then, 30 minutes later, Coulson's apologizing and, okay, yeah, Daisy is family. Sky is family. Daisy is still evolving, but she's family and you treat family differently. Lincoln, I don't know, that whole interchange seemed like pretty quick. If Lincoln gets infected, we're just going to blow you up. And then 3 minutes later, Lincoln's totally on board. And then we're supposed to forget the fact that we don't even remember the fact that Lincoln has this vest on, if indeed he has it on.
Well, yeah, right. It became irrelevant very quickly. There was never a threat of that thing going off.
That's my biggest problem.
Although, do you think they're laying in something that they're going to have him in this thing for a little while to keep things under wrap, and then maybe he's the one that goes? They blow him up?
Or maybe he accidentally blows up because, May's having a hissy fit about something that happened 3 or 4 years ago and sticks her hand in her pocket. Boom. I don't know. The whole thing wasn't characteristic of anybody. It's like they went off the rails for about 5 minutes and then it became completely irrelevant to anything that was going on. And then we got back to the storyline. So, yeah. And, it wasn't a bad storyline, but I thought those two things, they were trying to establish some sort of attention and, like attention and release. It's part of storytelling, right? But it wasn't convincing. And 10 minutes into the whole thing, it was too irrelevant for me. I enjoyed like the next, 50 minutes of the program.
I guess I didn't take it that serious. I do agree with you. Like the whole Lincoln thing, nothing came of it because then Coulson pulls him. I mean, it was a whole bunch of moral level setting. I felt like for some odd reason, May had to say all this stuff, and who knows? Maybe this is why. At the end of the day, she's the one in the spaceship that blows up. I don't know. Because I'm trying to think of who knows how to fly a plane, and guess what? She does. That's all she does is fly the plane.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing that we saw, the vision that we saw at the end of the other episode. And the other thing is, fast forward to the end of this, kind of got me, is why did Daisy feel like she had to pin Fitz up against the wall for like about 3 or 4 minutes while choking him
out? Choke him out.
Yeah. Well,
and threatening, like the next time I'm actually going to hurt you. Well, we already know that you can do that. The threat is already real.
Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, that scene didn't make a lot of sense to me because she turned around. She was already leaving. They had made a point earlier in the episode of saying that she left. She destroyed everything at the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, but she left. She didn't go around killing them because that wasn't what she was supposed to do. That wasn't what her job was, essentially. In this one, when she's with him, she turned back around to give him a warning, which means, doesn't that mean that she does have some control of her faculties and knows that it wouldn't be right to kill him?
Well, I think they're trying to establish that she's still in there. Of course, she says, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I now have a family. And that she's somehow protecting, in a way, protecting the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. by not killing them. But, she seemed to really get aggravated when Fitz said, we can cure you. Or he was about to say it when, she realized where he was going. And she knew why they were there, because this guy, the scientist that they went to visit, can cure these serious alien infections, and that's part of one of the things that he was studying and got kicked out of the academy for. But, the parallel I think they were trying to make didn't go quite as well, but did go well, is between Simmons and what's the astronaut that was inside Hive. And
Will. Wasn't his name Will?
Will,
yeah.
And he came out for a second, and it's like you wonder if Hive is just manipulating it, but they, and he said, "We don't want to hurt you. We don't want you to wind up dead." And I think an essence of Will didn't want her to become part of the Hive. Otherwise, he would have just absorbed her right then and there.
Yeah, man. There was there was a lot of inconsistencies in this one when you really step back and look at them, where you wonder why Hive, yes, has the memories of these other characters, but like he said, Ward is dead. Why would he? I don't know.
Because there's an essence, like they become part of the Singularity, and I think every time they do that, it affects the Hive. I think there are things, they spent like the good middle portion of this episode with a conversation between Ward and Daisy, and talking about like her feelings and finding her family, and you're not like Ward, you are something different. Of course, we know it's this huge release of endorphins that's controlling her brain. It's like an addiction,
right?
But I
did like that, though. I did like what they were doing with that. Didn't you guys like that? I mean, I thought that was pretty cool how they set it up that it's an addiction. The way she reacted to everything, you're like, okay, I buy it. And it also made you, when Coulson was protecting her, it did make you feel like he's right to protect her.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
And on the other hand, you see with Hive that he's kind of, there's almost a genuine feeling of something in there where there kind of shouldn't be.
See, that's where I was having a problem. I don't think, because like he was using the Will thing to manipulate Gemma, but it almost crossed over into not being that, into more like Will was kind of driving the bus for a minute. There's no way. He has those memories, but Will is not driving the bus. Ward is not driving the bus. Hive is driving the bus, period. He uses those memories to manipulate, but that's it. And didn't we at one point talk about, wasn't there something last season when we all kind of speculated about Gemma having some type of inhuman ability or something? And we wondered if there was something that was going to come of that. This is where, if that was going to happen, that card would have been flipped, and it wasn't.
Yeah, because he would have taken her right there. He would have blown his little smoke in her face or whatever he does.
Right.
Right. And that's the problem with that I have with what you were talking about is if he was, there's no reason to manipulate her. Will and everybody inside, for some reason, saved Gemma from being inhaled
Toast
into the Hive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she couldn't be, if she's not an Inhuman, she couldn't be inhaled into the Hive. He can inhale humans or Inhumans. He would just kill her. Why wouldn't he just kill her?
See, that's the thing. I think they don't drive the bus, but there are tiny influences. It would have been in the best interest of the Hive to pretty much incinerate Fitz and Gemma. The only resistance that they're really getting right now is from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yet there's something in there. And I think that's what's going to be their downfall, and that's where I think the show and the writers are going with this, that there is something inside the Hive that is going to, feel some regret or kind of have some hesitation so that the S.H.I.E.L.D. can win. When they win, it's going to be something inside, because even when Daisy is going off the rails, there's something in her brain that knows something's not right. Did you notice that at all? She's having like a little bit of issues, like even when she's talking the right talk, she's kind of got an eyebrow raised. There's some doubt.
Yeah.
I thought there was some doubt until she was almost choking the life out of Fitz.
Well, but almost.
I thought, like, when she held back with Fitz, I thought that's where we were going to get the Fitz. This is what's going on. I'm trying to control it, kind of BS that you would think you were getting. But at that point, I don't think she's controlling it. I don't think she knows what she's doing because they said it. When Hive takes over those senses, you don't care about that stuff. That's why that other Inhuman killed herself twice when
Lincoln and May.
Lincoln, thank you. When Lincoln like freaked out like why she did that because Hive takes that inhibition away, just like a drug. He's like heroin.
How about that? How about that? After the two die and she seems upset, or she's obviously upset, the way when he talked to her and it completely changed her behavior. Alicia, her name was Alicia.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Hey, what's that guy's name? The one he had all the good names. Inferno, Blowhard, Burning Man. Who is that?
Oh, the Australian dude? I don't know.
I love him. I thought that was really cool, man.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of him. I was really kind of glad that they finally changed him into an Inhuman because he's just a great character.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that character. I hope they don't just burn him right out. I'm telling you, I do think that Lincoln is on the fast track to getting blown up or something. I think he's gone.
I don't think he is because it would be too easy. I think you brought it up, Rob. I think it's May. I do think it's May to die at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think because
because she's an original, it'll have an emotional impact. Yet they haven't done jack with her, and I think she'll be willing to sacrifice herself on the ship because she lost her husband. She lost anything,
Yeah, I think I'm right. I think that sucks because they gave her another good fight scene tonight. It was short, but she was great in it.
Yep.
But the fact that you've got, so if May is the one that goes, it makes sense from another standpoint. She's had this rift with Coulson. It's going to make him driven in a different way too.
Yep.
So
I think she's going.
Well, remember at the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D., she was a spy. Even though she was kind of on Coulson's side, she was ready to give him up like 3 or 4 times and then actually taking shots about everybody on the team.
But
and at some point, really,
yeah. But wait, she was working for Fury, keeping an eye on him. She was not serving Coulson up. She was just doing her duty, which is what Coulson manipulates her with, is doing her duty.
Yeah,
it's fun to say duty, isn't it?
It's the Beavis and Butthead theme. You said duty.
But
and I talked about that then. I think that's a load of crap because that's what the director has to do. The director has to have people doing things that are hard, that are tough. It may involve, all sorts of things, but I don't think you can say, well, Coulson is making her do her duty. I think there was a time where she really felt like if, she pulled the plug at any time, that she was really in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. at any given time. Yeah. And I think she had that attitude and even said it at some point, basically he's behind that chair because she lets him, and, it's like, wow, how do you run an agency with, you're kind of second in command like that? I couldn't run, an office or a team of soldiers or, even a team at 7-Eleven. If, the guy like right under me was, had that kind of attitude.
Yeah, true. Do you think it's going to be just one going?
I think they've kind of established that, even reiterated that she's seen one die. That Skye has seen one of the team members is going to die.
You don't think they were foreshadowing tonight when Fitz was saying that they're cursed and then Gemma reiterated it later? You don't think they're going to kill one of the two of them, do you?
I don't think so. I mean,
I really hope not. They finally they're finally just getting over the tease that they had going,
Right. And the whole thing with the event horizon. The one thing that they did say, and I think they were definitely setting something up, is somebody on the team is going to die. And, if you keep following us, and they said that to both of them, leave us alone. We don't want you to die.
Yeah.
We know somebody's going to die. We don't want you to be the ones doing it. And that was part of those two separate conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think it's because of that. I don't think it's going to be them. I don't think you reunite the lovers just for nothing and kind of set them both up, pull them both aside and say, somebody's going to die and we really don't want it to be you. I think they've set up just like 2 or 3 different things here in this episode that, later on are going to connect.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, next week's is the one just before Captain America comes out. There are, by the way, I did look it up. You're right. There's essentially 3 episodes. It's actually 4 episodes, but the 3rd and 4th are on the same night. Yeah. So the next one is called Failed Experiments. Then the week after Cap 3 is Emancipation. And then the last 2 are Absolution and Ascension.
Here's something we didn't talk about. And
there's so many things we haven't talked about. Go ahead.
But this is important to tie in with Civil War because in Civil War, we have Baron Zemo. We have Crossbones.
Right.
We have hints of Hydra. And in this episode, Talbot took down all of Hydra from all the information that they've got.
True.
And, in that one scene where they were talking and they're like, this should be a special happy day, and it's not. So if they thought they took down Hydra, what's left? Like, is this Zemo going to be a part of Hydra, or is he his own thing?
Yeah, or are they just going to realize they really didn't do anything? They took out a faction of Hydra, but Hydra's still completely viable. Because, even in the comics, Hydra, when they say it has many heads, you cut off one, another grows. They didn't do a strike here that ended Hydra in this universe.
Well, it was a huge strike, though. If you look at the map that was blowing up all over the place. But yeah, the one line that stood out was.
Did it stuck out?
It stuck out when Talbot said, we cut off its head, and the first thing that popped in my mind was like, well, then 2 more show.
Yeah, but yeah.
Same for me.
So, but I thought that was an interesting little kind of storyline that they threw in there, and because I don't know now what they're going to do next week to have any tie in to Civil War. It seems like what's going on now is going to be so separate. Like there's not, because they're not, Inhumans is off the table now for Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. And even so, that doesn't matter, because the Inhuman story, whenever people talk about how, they've introduced him here and that takes it off the table. I know that they've paused that, but the story of the Inhumans that they're going to do for the movie really is about them living on the dark side of the moon. It's really going to be more of a space thing. So I don't think that necessarily ties in here, other than the name Inhuman has been said.
Yeah.
I really don't. So I don't think that matters at all. I think they can do whatever the heck they want with them, as long as Medusa doesn't show up. Any of the main players from the ones that live on the dark side of the moon, I think they're completely fine.
Well, do you think that they did that to the big Hydra strike? Because I think we all know Hydra's not really gone. Yes, it was a big blow, much like S.H.I.E.L.D. took a big blow, but we all know, of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. is still there. Hydra's still going to be there, but it takes an element out of on the movie where we're not going to be kind of worried about Hydra because they're kind of in a resetting mode. And it's like, well, why didn't Hydra show up in Civil War?
What Alil is saying is we've got Baron Zemo, we've got Crossbones, so there should be Hydra showing up in here. And if they've just wiped them out to basically just bare bones, not crossbones, does that mean that, does that mean that they're going to ignore the TV universe version of it? Or are they somehow going to play within the TV universe version?
I think they've set something up. Either that they're going to be part of a rebuilding phase, or maybe that's why these characters finally showed up as well. We were in hiding, we were busy, and you didn't see us in the TV universe because of this big strike on Hydra headquarters all over the world. Now, we're coming back out to, reestablish and, maybe try to build their own Inhuman army or who knows. But I think I think they've done this for a very, very specific reason, because otherwise for the Inhumans, the Hydra thing was totally random.
Yeah.
You don't set that up a week before the movie comes out without some little reason.
And it was somewhat pointed. I mean, Alil, I think you're right when the importance of what happened. The more you think about it, they made a point of showing such a huge strike and being this close to Captain America 3 and knowing how important the Hydra storyline was to Captain America 2. Maybe this was done on purpose to take that out of this story, and the Baron Zemo and the Crossbones stuff is maybe we find out that they're rebuilding Hydra in a different way. Yeah. Because let's face it, what's his name is gone too. Malik is gone. So, they were making it look on here like Malik was the head and now Hive is there. Maybe they're almost irrelevant compared to what Zemo has started up.
Well, right, because my guess is Zemo continued on, to try to develop more of his, Inhumans, because in this universe, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were technically Inhumans or whatever they call them, miracles. And maybe that's what his work is. And that's why, he's got Crossbones, who I'm guessing is part of that work. So I don't know.
Yeah, and if you're concentrating on those Inhumans, because of what's going on in the TV universe, you don't have anybody saying, oh, well, what about, Daisy, and what about, I guess Lash is gone, but what about these other characters? And so, well, what about them? This is our part of the story.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, May 6th, we'll definitely find out.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and we're not even going to speculate who's dying on May 6th, but somebody's dying.
Or do we think they're dead?
No, they've been pretty clear. Somebody's dead. But it is comic books, so anybody can come back anytime.
And Coulson died.
But he went to Tahiti. Do you think they'll send him to Tahiti, whoever it is?
Ooh, that would be cool.
Maybe this time it'll be somewhere like the Bahamas instead.
Oh, very creative, Alil.
Especially if it was May and she had all these memories of her and Blair.
Blair Underwood.
We don't even call him by his real name.
I don't even know what it is.
It just seems kind of fun.
So, all right. What didn't we cover in this one? We covered Fitzsimmons getting jiggy with it. Daisy dropping the Terrigen crystal on Ben. Ben having the great name of Blowhard.
Ben can take out Hive.
You know what? You cut out. I didn't hear that.
I said the thing that Ben had,
yes,
the Kree stuff can take out Hive. He said that's the one thing they can kill him.
So that brings up the preview for next week. We get Kree. Now, to me, they looked like in Aliens versus Predator. Like, remember how the Predators were kind of look like big marshmallows? These Kree didn't look like the Kree that I was expecting to see.
Well, and the one that we saw
looked like a marshmallow
in the machine.
Right. Look more like Avatar. That's not what these look like.
Right.
So, but we've got Kree on here. Have we ever had, other than that floaty Kree, have we ever had like Kree up and walking around? I can't remember.
Yeah, we had that one where Lady Sif came back.
Were they blue?
Was he blue? I can't remember.
I don't think he was.
I don't remember. I thought he was big though. Like, we've had Kree on here. I know that. I just don't remember if he was blue or not.
All right.
Pretty sure. Charlie, where are we at? Oh,
yeah, you know what? I remember that Kree, but he didn't look like these guys.
No, he didn't look like these guys.
So, all right. Failed experiments. It's got to be, I don't know.
It's the Inhumans, because to the Kree, they're a failed experiment.
Right. Maybe the Kree are here to clean house. Maybe they're here to wipe out Hive. And maybe that's how the Hive storyline ends.
As it should. I'm kind of done with myself.
Let's end it. So you can find past episodes of this and all of our podcasts at our website, which is southgatemediagroup.com. For this show, it's / Nuff Said Podcast. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. Just look up Nuff Said Podcast. Let's see. What else do we have? If you want to support the show, we got a couple of different ways now. First of all, one way that's super easy. If you go to our website, in the upper right-hand corner is an Amazon ad. If you click on that when you're going to buy stuff on Amazon, I should say that differently. When you're going to buy stuff on Amazon, click on that link. It puts a cookie on your computer for 24 hours, and anything you purchase from Amazon, we get a little cut of. So do that, please, if you want to support us. It's a really easy way. It doesn't cost you any more. You can use your Prime, or if you want to sign up for Prime, click on that link first and sign up for Prime, and we get a little commission off that. Let's see, what else? We now have our Patreon page back. We have patrons there. It's awesome. Please support us if you can. You can find links on our Twitter, find links on our website, find links on our Facebook page. Let's see. Last thing for me, you can find me at our Southgate, and Jack.
I'm at Jack what am I at? I'm at J Wengrosky is my Twitter. And you can catch me on the Blacklist podcast. And that's about it.
That's about it for now. And how about you, Alil? Oh, Alil is gone. He said, just finish without me. It's not letting me connect. So you can follow Alil at League of Geeks. That's Geeks with a Z. You can find him on Twitter and Instagram. And League of Geeks just started a Patreon page, too. So if you want to support them, you can do that through Patreon. Just look up League of Geeks with a Z.
Just support us first, and then
right. I was going to do an Alil impression and say that in his voice, but right now my voice is.
You guys are so talented and funny.
Support. Nuff Said first. So is that it? Are we done, Jack?
I think that's it.
All right, man. Thank you so much. And everybody, thanks for listening. And if you have any questions or comments, send them in. Tweet us. We want to get in conversation. Thanks again, everybody. Nuff said.
Nuff said. Nuff said.
Excellent.